You wake up like any other cycle. The soft hum of the orbital station is your constant lullaby. It is the sound of safety. The scent of recycled air and hot coffee fills your small quarters. You pour the dark liquid into your favorite ceramic mug. It has a small chip on the rim, a relic from Earth you paid a fortune to ship up here. It reminds you of home, of gravity. You take a sip. The warmth spreads through you. You stare out the viewport at the gentle curve of Earth below. Clouds swirl in silent, beautiful patterns. Everything is exactly as it should be. Then you look down at your mug. The coffee inside shivers. It is not a tremor from the station. The station is rock solid. This is a different kind of vibration. The liquid trembles violently for a second. Its surface ripples in a pattern you have never seen. It is too perfect, too geometric. The ripples are not circles. They are tiny, interlocking hexagons. They form and vanish in an instant. You blink, thinking your eyes are playing tricks. Sleep deprivation can do that. You stare at the coffee. It is perfectly still now. You swirl the mug gently. The liquid laps against the sides in normal, comforting curves. No strange shapes, no impossible geometry. You must have imagined it. Just a weird waking dream. You take another sip, dismissing the strange event. Then your desk lamp flickers. But it does not just flicker off and on. It shines with a pale green light for a heartbeat. Green is a color it cannot produce. You put the mug down. Your heart beats a little faster. You look around your quarters. Everything seems normal. But a new feeling creeps in. A deep, primal sense that something is fundamentally wrong. Like you heard a floorboard creak in an empty house. A shiver that has nothing to do with the temperature. It is a shiver in the laws of physics themselves. The universe just twitched. The first thing you expect is an alarm. A station-wide alert should be sounding. Red lights should be flashing. A calm, synthesized voice should be telling everyone to report to their posts. That is the procedure for any anomaly, any deviation from the norm. But there is nothing. Just the gentle, unnerving hum of a station that thinks everything is fine. The silence is the loudest sound you have ever heard. It is a screaming void where an alarm should be. This confirms your fear. The glitch was not just in your quarters. It was not just you. If the station's own diagnostic systems did not notice reality bending, then the problem is bigger than you can imagine. It is a problem with the rules themselves. You rush to your console. You pull up the station's internal sensor logs. Everything is green. All systems report perfect operation. Life support is stable. Structural integrity is at 100%. The fusion core is purring like a kitten. It is a portrait of a perfectly functioning orbital station. A complete and total lie. You know what you saw. You override the local feed. You pull up external sensor data. You need to see outside. You need to see what the station is not seeing. Your fingers fly across the keypad. You bypass 3 security protocols, an action that would normally get you a stern talking to. Today, you doubt anyone will notice. The system grants you access. The main viewport screen flickers to life, and your blood runs cold. It hangs in the void over Earth, a shape where no shape should be. It is a monolith, a slab of perfect, impossible blackness. It does not reflect light. It absorbs it. It is a hole in space, a patch of darkness that steals the stars behind it. Your mind struggles to understand its size. With no points of reference, it is a puzzle. It could be a mile long or 100 miles long. It is utterly silent. It emits no energy, no radiation, no heat, no signals of any kind. According to every sensor the station has, it does not exist. It is a ghost, a phantom that your eyes can see but science cannot. And it is the source. You feel it in your bones. This is what caused the shiver. This is the source of the temporal static that made your coffee dance. You stare at it, frozen. Your training screams at you to report it, to sound the alarm yourself, to follow procedure. But your instincts scream louder. They tell you that making a sound would be a very bad idea, that this object desires to be unnoticed. The silence from command suddenly makes a terrifying kind of sense. Maybe they do know. Maybe they are too afraid to admit it. You watch as a maintenance drone flies its usual route. It gets closer to the monolith's edge. Its path will take it right past the dark shape. You hold your breath. The drone continues. It passes the point where the monolith should be. And then it simply vanishes. No explosion. No debris. It just ceases to exist. One moment it is there. The next, it is gone. Swallowed by the silent, star-born void. The report you file is the driest, most clinical thing you have ever written. You describe an object of unknown size and composition. You mention its lack of emissions. You detail the visual distortion and the disappearance of the drone. You do not mention the coffee. You do not mention the fear. You do not mention the feeling that you are looking at something ancient, something that was here long before your species learned to walk. The response from command is immediate. It is also completely classified. You are ordered to a secure communication room. You are not to speak to anyone. High Command is taking this seriously. The room is small and gray. The only thing inside is a single chair and a large screen. You sit, you wait. The screen buzzes to life. It does not show the face of your commander. It shows only a pulsing blue light. Then the message comes. It does not come through the speakers. It comes directly into your head. A voice that is not a voice. A wave of pure information that floods your consciousness. It is cold. It is ancient. And it is filled with a terror so profound, it almost stops your heart. This is first contact. A message from the monolith. Or rather, from those who built it. They call themselves the Weavers. The name appears in your mind fully formed. A concept you suddenly understand without explanation. The message is not a greeting. It is not a negotiation. It is a warning. A single desperate plea that echoes with the ghosts of 1,000 other worlds. Leave this place. Do not touch our work. Do not investigate. Do not try to understand. Run. Flee and forget you ever saw us. Your survival depends on your ignorance. To look closer is to be undone. The Weaver's warning spreads like wildfire. It is a psychic scream heard by every sensitive mind in the system. It is a data packet of pure fear that infects every network it touches. Within hours, every leader on Earth and the colonies has felt it. They have all heard the grave warning. They have all felt the crushing weight of that ancient, alien dread. The Weavers want humanity to plug its ears, to shut its eyes, to pretend the monolith does not exist. Emergency councils convene. Leaders of nations and corporate states meet in virtual rooms. The debate is short. It is also the most important in human history. Some argue for caution. They say the warning should be heeded. That humanity is a child playing with forces it cannot comprehend. To ignore such a clear message is suicide. They are the voice of reason, the voice of fear. But humanity was not forged in reason alone. It was forged in fire and curiosity. It was built by those who sailed into storms, by those who climbed the highest mountains simply because they were there. The warning is replayed. The cold, terrifying words of the Weavers echo in the chamber. And then a new voice rises, the voice of Fleet Admiral Eva Rostova. She stands before the council. Her face is grim. Her resolve is like iron. "It is not a warning," she says. Her voice rings with defiance. "It is a threat. It is a cage. They tell us not to look." Why? Because they are afraid of what we might see. She points to the image of the monolith. Our entire history has been a journey toward the light. We do not run from the dark. We light a candle. Her words ignite a fire in the council. The fear begins to burn away, replaced by something else. Defiance. Humanity makes its choice. We will not run. We will not hide. We will build our own candle, and we will walk right into that darkness. We will investigate. Your new assignment comes down from high command. It is a project so secret its name is just a string of numbers. Its goal is simple. Its execution is thought to be impossible. The Weaver's monolith is causing a shimmer in space-time, a temporal static. You are to build a machine to counteract it. You must build an anchor, a device that can hold a small bubble of reality perfectly still. You are transferred to a hidden research facility deep within the asteroid belt. The best minds humanity has are gathered here. Engineers, physicists, thinkers who specialize in the strange corners of star science. They are all here for one purpose: to build the last anchor. The name is a joke someone made, a dark piece of humor that stuck. If this fails, there will not be a second chance. The work is grueling. The physics are theoretical. The math is beautiful and terrifying. You work for weeks that blur into months. You sleep for short hours, your dreams filled with impossible geometry. You and the team are trying to build a machine based on a science you are inventing as you go. It is like trying to build a ship while you are already drowning at sea. Slowly, impossibly, it takes shape. In the heart of the main construction bay, the anchor is born. It is not a sleek machine. It is a brute, a sphere of exotic alloys and superconducting wires. It is a monster built to wrestle with the fabric of the universe itself. You feel a strange sense of pride, and an even stranger sense of dread. You are building the key to a door humanity was explicitly told never to open. But the choice was made. You are a soldier following orders, and your orders are to turn that key. The day of the mission arrives. You stand on the bridge of the Stargazer. It is a new class of science vessel. It is little more than a powerful engine with a cockpit and the anchor bolted to its spine. Your destination is the monolith. Your job is to get close, activate the anchor, and see what is on the other side of the static. Simple enough, except for the ghosts. As you approach the monolith, your long-range sensors begin to show them. Faint, shimmering images of ships. Hundreds of them. They flicker in and out of existence. They are like echoes in space-time. Each one is a different design. Some are sleek and organic. Others are blocky and industrial. None of them are human. They are the spectral fleet of other civilizations. Your ship's analyst has a theory. Her voice is trembling as she explains it. These are the ships of other species who found a monolith. The ones who, like humanity, decided to investigate instead of run. These are the echoes of their final moments. A star-born graveyard of failed attempts. A museum of defiance. It is a sobering sight. A silent testament to the Weaver's power. One of the ghosts becomes clearer. It is a beautiful, crystalline vessel. It looks like a snowflake carved from light. For a moment, its image solidifies. You can see the panic on its bridge, the frantic, desperate movements of its alien crew. Then, It touches the edge of the monolith's influence, and it simply dissolves into a cloud of screaming light. The echo fades. You are left in the silence, staring at the ghosts of everyone who came before you. And you fly on. You are in position. The stargazer floats a safe distance from the monolith. The crew is silent. Every person on the bridge is holding their breath. It is your turn. You are the one who has to activate the anchor. Your hand rests on the activation key. You look at the monolith one last time. It feels like a sleeping giant, and you are about to poke it with a stick. All systems are go, the pilot says. His voice is tight. Anchor field is stable and ready for engagement. You take a deep breath. You think of the coffee cup, the impossible hexagons. You think of the Weaver's cold warning. You think of the ghost ships, and you think of Admiral Rostova's words. We do not run from the dark. You turn the key. Reality screams. The sound is not physical. It is a psychic shriek that tears through the ship. The anchor roars to life. A bubble of stable space-time expands around the stargazer. It pushes against the temporal static of the monolith. It is like driving a wedge into a crack in a mountain. The universe itself fights back against you. The ship groans. Metal stresses. Alarms you did not know existed begin to blare. Through the forward viewport, the world dissolves. The blackness of the monolith wavers. The field of stars outside your bubble twists and distorts. Colors you have no name for bleed into existence. The fabric of space is tearing. You are piercing the veil. The ship shudders violently one last time. And then you are through. The screaming stops. The alarms fall silent. You are floating in a new kind of silence. You are inside. You have crossed the threshold. The space outside the stargazer is no longer the familiar void. It is a sea of churning light and shadow. It is a place that is not a place. A nexus. A crossroads of moments. All around you, you see them. Glimpses of other histories, other timelines, floating like islands in a chaotic ocean. It is a library of fading worlds. You see a desert planet where cities of glass glitter under twin suns. As you watch, the suns flare into a nova. The cities turn to dust. The vision fades. You see an aquatic world of graceful, waterborne beings. Their planet freezes in a sudden ice age. Their song of sorrow echoes in your mind for a moment. Then they too are gone. You see countless worlds, countless species. Some are like you. Some are beyond your comprehension. Each one is a story, a complete history from beginning to end, and each one ends in apocalypse. You are witnessing the death of worlds in real time, an endless gallery of extinction. Your heart breaks for them, for the lives lost, for the songs that ended. This is what the monolith hides. Not a weapon, not a fortress. It hides a cemetery, a place of endings. You realize the temporal static was not a shield. It was the noise of all these timelines collapsing, the death rattle of a billion histories. You feel an overwhelming sense of grief, a sorrow so vast it threatens to drown you. This is a place of mourning, or so you think. The grief turns to ice in your veins. Something is wrong with this picture. This is not just a place of natural endings. It is too orderly, too efficient. There is a pattern to the chaos, a rhythm to the destruction. You push the stargazer's sensors to their absolute limit. You filter out the noise. You look for the source, the architect of this beautiful, horrifying tragedy. And then you see them, the weavers. They are not the terrified messengers you imagined. They are not hiding in fear. They are here. They move through the collapsing timelines like farmers walking through a field. They are beings of pure energy, woven from the threads of space-time itself. They are majestic. They are terrifying. And they are harvesting. This is not a cemetery. It is a farm. The weavers are not guardians. They are predators. They feed on the energy released by a dying reality. They prune timelines. They nurture civilizations just long enough for them to reach a certain point. Then they trigger their collapse. They feast on the death of hope, the death of history. The horrifying truth settles upon you. They are not warning you away for your safety. They are protecting their crop. You watch as a weaver drifts toward a vibrant timeline, a world of feathered, avian creatures with a rich culture. The weaver extends a thread of dark energy. It touches the timeline's sun. The star immediately begins to destabilize. It is a simple, casual act of cosmic vandalism, an act of murder on a scale your mind can barely grasp. The weavers are not gods. They are parasites, and your timeline is next on their menu. You are trapped. You are inside the storm, inside their larder. The weavers have not noticed you yet. Your anchor is a tiny, insignificant bubble of stability in their chaotic farm. But they will. It is only a matter of time. You cannot fight them. They are masters of this domain. They are made of the very thing you are struggling to survive in. To fight them here would be like a fish fighting the ocean. Your mind races. Panic is a cold, sharp thing. You force it down. There is no escape. There is no weapon you can use against them from here. The stargazer is a rowboat in a hurricane. You cannot save yourself. You cannot save your crew. But you might be able to save your entire history. You might be able to save everyone back home. Everyone who is still blissfully unaware of the cosmic horror that awaits them. A desperate idea takes root. A plan so insane it might just work. You cannot send a ship back. You cannot send a person back. But maybe you can send a message, not a warning. They already got one of those, from the wrong side. You need to send something more. You need to send knowledge. You need to send a weapon. You have to send a message back through time, to yourself. You turn to your science officer. Her face is pale, but her eyes are clear. Can we do it? You ask. Can we encode a message and send it through the anchor's wake? Push it back along the path we just took? She looks at her console, at the screaming, impossible data flowing from the Nexus. She nods slowly. The theory is there. It would be a one-way trip. It would drain the anchor completely. We would be stranded here. You look at the dying worlds around you. We are already stranded, you say. Let's get to work. The message cannot be simple words. Run or fight is useless. The weavers are not a problem you can solve with a bigger gun. They are a problem you solve with better math. You need to send your past self the key to understanding this place. The science of the Nexus itself. You need to weaponize knowledge. The crew of the Stargazer works with a focused, desperate energy. You are not just writing a message. You are composing a new branch of physics. You record everything you have seen. The structure of the collapsing timelines. The energy signatures of the weavers. The way they manipulate space-time with casual, terrifying grace. You map the harmonics of reality's scream. You turn the horror into data. Pure, clean, revolutionary data. The ship's AI helps you compress it. It translates the complex star science into a dense package of information, a poison pill of enlightenment. It is the most important thing humanity has ever created. It is a message from the future, a love letter to the past, a blueprint for survival written by a ghost. You know that once you send it, your timeline is doomed. Your stargazer will be consumed. But another timeline, your own past, will have a chance. The final data packet is ready. It is beautiful. It is elegant. It is a weapon made of pure thought. You look at your crew. You see fear in their eyes. But you also see resolve. They know what this means. They are giving their lives for a possibility, for a chance that humanity will not become just another fading light in the Weaver's library. You give the final order. Send it. The anchor screams one last time. It pours all of its energy, all of its hope, into a single, focused beam aimed at yesterday. Your past self receives the message. You are standing in the hidden research facility in the asteroid belt. You are staring at the first blueprints for the anchor. You and your team are frustrated. The math is not working. The theories are incomplete. You are about to report that the project is a failure, that building an anchor is impossible. Then the data arrives. It does not come through any official channel. It appears as a ghost signal on a quantum entanglement comm. It is a burst of information so dense, so complex, it should not exist. It is gibberish to most of the sensors. But to you, it is a revelation. It is the answer to every question you have been asking. It is a new science. The science of time. You and your team work in a frenzy. The new data is a Rosetta Stone for the universe. It explains the temporal static. It explains the Weaver's methods. It explains everything. The Anchor project is scrapped. It was a crude tool, a lockpick for a door that required a symphony. You begin designing a new device, something far more elegant, something based on the new math. You call it the resonator. It is not designed to hold time still. It is designed to sing with it. It is an instrument built to match the frequency of the universe itself, to harmonize with the very fabric of space-time. The blueprints are a work of art. The project is given the highest priority. Humanity, armed with knowledge from a future that will never exist, begins to build its weapon. A weapon that does not fire bullets, but music. The resonator is complete. It does not look like a weapon. It is a network of thousands of satellites. They are placed in a precise orbit around the sun. Each one is a tuning fork for reality. From Earth, they look like a new constellation, a man-made web of stars. The day it is activated will be remembered forever. The day humanity stopped whispering and began to sing. You stand at the heart of command. You are now the one giving the order. The Weaver's monolith still hangs in space, silent, arrogant, waiting for its crop to ripen. It has no idea what is coming. It has no idea that its prey has been given the secrets of the hunter. You give the command. Activate the resonator. A low hum begins. It is felt more than heard. A vibration that starts in your teeth and spreads through your entire body. The satellites begin to pulse in unison. They are broadcasting a frequency, a single, pure note that resonates with the structure of your timeline. It is the song of your reality, clear, strong, and defiant. The temporal static from the monolith begins to waver. The hum grows louder. It is no longer just your solar system. It is the entire timeline. Every human, every ship, every colony across the stars. Humanity itself becomes the orchestra. The resonator seizes control of the temporal storm. The chaotic noise of the Weaver's farm is drowned out by a single, beautiful symphony. Your symphony. You are no longer just living in the universe. You are helping to write the music it plays. Humanity has rewritten the rules. The Weavers feel it instantly. Their farm, their carefully cultivated garden of collapsing worlds, is hit by a tidal wave. A wave of order. A wave of harmony. Your timeline, which should be weakening, is instead becoming stronger. It is resonating with a power they cannot comprehend. The resonator's song is poison to their chaos. It is a declaration of existence that they cannot feed on. They cannot harvest. From the bridge of your command ship, you watch the monolith. The perfect blackness begins to flicker. The weavers, the beings of woven space-time, recoil from your reality. They are like shadows exposed to a sudden, blinding light. The monolith, their tool of harvest, shatters, not in an explosion, but by dissolving. It unravels, its threads pulled apart by the sheer force of your timeline's song. They flee. The ancient, terrifying predators turn and run. They retreat back into the chaotic spaces between realities. They abandon their farm. They flee from the species that learned to sing. Humanity stands victorious, not through war, not through violence, but through understanding, through a message of hope sent by a ghost from a dead future. You look at the place where the monolith used to be. The stars behind it shine brightly. You are the architect of this victory, the guardian who was born in a future that never was. Your sacrifice on the Stargazer was not in vain. You saved everyone. You gave them the knowledge to become masters of their own destiny. You are the ghost in the machine, the silent protector who secured humanity's first dawn as guardians of your own forever. You awaken to a world fractured from its own timeline. The sky shows yesterday and tomorrow at once. You jolt awake with a gasp. The air in your lungs feels wrong. It tastes thin, like an old photograph smells. Something is fundamentally broken. You sit up in bed. The morning light streams through your window. But it is not one light. It is three. One beam is the soft, golden glow of dawn. Another is the harsh, white glare of noon. The last is the deep, blood orange of sunset. They all occupy the same space. They do not mix. They slice through each other like ghosts. You stare, trying to make sense of the sight. Your head pounds with a silent rhythm. Outside, the world is a broken mirror. You stumble to the window and look down. On the street below, a delivery truck from yesterday is parked. Its driver is unloading boxes you saw yesterday. Next to it, children are playing in the summer heat. That is tomorrow's weather forecast. Their laughter echoes faintly. It has not happened yet. You feel a wave of nausea. This is not a dream. It feels more real than reality itself. Your digital clock flashes impossible numbers. It shows all times at once. A flickering 8 and a 0 and a 5. Then a 1 and a 3 and a 2. It cannot decide what time it is, because time itself is undecided. You turn on the news. The anchor's face is a blur of motion. His mouth moves, but the words are jumbled. He speaks of a political scandal from last week. He also reports on a star launch scheduled for next month. His voice is calm. His voice is panicked. His tie is straight. His tie is crooked, all at once. You feel a profound sense of vertigo. The world has come unstitched from its own timeline. You are floating in the wreckage. Every moment is happening now. The past is not gone. The future is not waiting. They are here, loud and demanding. It feels like your mind is being torn apart. You grip the sides of your head. You try to focus on one thing. Your reflection in the dark screen, you see your own face. It is young. It is old. It shows the flicker of every age you will ever be. A child's wonder, a teenager's angst, an adult's worry, an old person's peace. They all look back at you from your own eyes. The day did not just break. It shattered. Then comes the voice. It is not a sound that enters your ears. It is a thought that blooms in your mind. It arrives without permission. It feels ancient and impossibly vast. You know, with bone-deep certainty, that everyone hears it. Every man, woman, and child on earth. The voice is not male or female. It is not loud or soft. It is simply present, a pressure against your consciousness. It speaks a language you have never heard, yet you understand every single word perfectly. The meaning pours directly into your thoughts. Your perception of causality is a gift, it says. A gift we have allowed you to borrow. The words are calm, without malice. They carry the weight of a mountain, a casual, crushing authority. We are the architects of the sequence, the gardeners of what was and is and will be. A name settles in your mind, not spoken, but delivered. The elder ones. You see a flash of something, a glimpse of a being not made of flesh. It is a creature of pure geometry and light. It exists in dimensions you cannot comprehend. The sight lasts less than a heartbeat. It leaves you breathless and terrified. Your lease on linear time has expired, the voice continues. The sheer arrogance is stunning. It is like a landlord evicting a tenant from reality itself. The construct you call a timeline is being decommissioned. We are reclaiming the property. You look outside again. The fractured sky seems to mock you. The layered moments of your street feel like a warning. Humanity has been a child, playing with a toy it did not understand. Now, the owners have come to take it back. There is no negotiation. There are no terms. There is only a statement of fact. The world outside your window goes silent. The ghost children stop laughing. The phantom truck fades. For a single terrifying second, there is only the now. A clean, sharp, present moment. Then the voice speaks one last time. Its final message echoes in the sudden quiet of your mind. We thank you for your tenancy. Do not attempt to resist the change. It is untidy. And then it is gone. The pressure in your head vanishes. You are left alone with the silence. A silence that is somehow louder than any sound. The silence of 7 billion people holding their breath at once. Wondering what comes after the end of time. The world waits. For an hour. For a day, the temporal fractures remain. A constant, dizzying reminder of the message. Experts appear on the news. Their faces are grim. They have no answers. They talk of mass hallucinations. They suggest star-born phenomena. They refuse to use the words from the message, as if not speaking them makes them less real. You watch the feeds. You scan the networks. Everyone is asking the same question. What did they mean? Reclaiming the property? You feel a cold dread pool in your stomach. This is not a negotiation. It was a declaration. The other shoe is about to drop, and you suspect it will be very, very large. Probably big enough to leave a crater in history. Then it happens. It does not happen with a bang. It does not happen with a flash of light. It happens with a quiet little hum. A footnote on a news ticker. An alert on your screen. Geopolitical tensions rise near Buenos Aires. You watch a live feed from a drone. It shows the gleaming spires of the city, a jewel of the southern hemisphere. You blink. The feed flickers. For a moment, the image is replaced with green fields, a wide, flat plain stretching to the horizon. The drone camera pivots, confused. The operator must be panicking. Where there was a metropolis of millions, there is now nothing, just grass swaying in the wind. The news anchor falls silent mid-sentence. His screen has changed. He looks down at his papers, utterly lost. The name Buenos Aires is gone from his script. It is gone from the map behind him. The coast of South America looks wrong, smoother, unbroken. You frantically search online. Every reference to the city is gone. History books now claim the area was always unpopulated plains. Tourist photos show rolling hills. Encyclopedia entries are blank. It is not just that the city was destroyed. It was that the city never existed at all. But you remember. You remember the pictures. You remember the name. You can see the shape of its skyline in your mind's eye. A ghost of a memory. A scar on the world that only you can see. Everyone else has forgotten. Their minds have been edited, rewritten to fit the new reality. A reality without Buenos Aires. You look at the people on the street. They go about their day. They do not notice the gaping hole in their collective knowledge. They do not feel the phantom limb of a lost city. They are content. They are whole. But you feel the tear. You feel the raw, gaping wound in the fabric of history. And you understand what untidy means. The silence does not last long. Fear gives way to anger. The leaders of the world cannot accept this. They cannot admit powerlessness. To lose a city is a tragedy. To have it unexisted is an act of war, a war against reality itself. And so, humanity decides to fight back. It is a grand and foolish gesture, a display of defiance against a formless foe. Fleets are launched. Star-borne cruisers burn through the atmosphere. Their engines tear the sky. They are pointed at a location, an origin point calculated by our best minds, a place in the void where the message seemed to originate. You watch it all on the feeds. It feels like a movie, a grand, epic film about mankind's indomitable spirit. The generals give speeches. They use words like sovereignty and unprovoked aggression. They speak of drawing a line in the cosmic sand. No one mentions that the enemy can erase the sand, and the line, and the person who drew it. The ships arrive at the designated coordinates. A barren patch of space. Nothing is there. The fleet commander gives the order. Fire at will. A wave of energy lances out into the black. Torpedoes with warheads that could crack a moon. Lasers that could boil an ocean. They pour all of our fury into that one empty spot. For a moment, there is a brilliant light, a man-made star of defiance. It is beautiful. It is pointless. Then, the feed from the lead ship cuts out. Not to static. It just stops. One moment, the bridge of the flagship is there. The next, your screen shows the feed from the ship next to it. The second ship's crew looks confused. The captain asks for a status report on the flagship. His sensor officer looks up, his face pale. "Sir," he says, his voice trembling. "What flagship?" "We are the flagship of this fleet." The captain stares. He opens his mouth to argue. Then his eyes glaze over for a second. He nods. "As I was." "Report on the weapon's impact." You watch in horror. One by one, the ships are edited out of existence. Not destroyed, erased. The crews do not die. They never were. Each time a vessel vanishes, the memories of the remaining crews are rewritten. The fleet shrinks, but no one on board notices they are losing. They only know their own, ever smaller reality. Soon, only one ship is left. A small frigate at the edge of the formation. Its captain looks around at empty space. He believes he is on a solo scouting mission. He reports back to command. The area is clear. No sign of enemy forces. No sign of anything at all. He sounds disappointed, like he showed up for a fight and the other guy forfeited. The leaders on Earth spin the story. They call it a victory. They say the enemy fled before our might. They say our show of force worked, but you know the truth. You saw the fleet disappear one ship at a time. We did not fight a god. We were a gnat, buzzing angrily in a room. And the owner of the room simply edited us out of the air. We did not win. We were just too small to be worth the effort of a complete erasure. The days that follow are a slow, creeping nightmare. The temporal fractures worsen. Little things flicker in and out of existence. A park bench is there one moment, gone the next. The name of your street changes for an hour. Then it changes back. Most people do not notice, or they dismiss it as a trick of the light, a slip of the tongue. Their minds are pliable. They bend to the new reality without breaking. They accept the changes as if things were always that way. Your neighbor comments on the new color of your front door. You have not painted it. It was blue yesterday. It is red today. He insists it has always been red. He even has a memory of helping you choose the shade last year. A memory that was just created. But your mind does not bend. It is rigid, brittle. It holds on to what was. Every change, every edit, feels like a crack in a pane of glass. You remember the blue door. You remember the old street name. And you remember a city of millions called Buenos Aires. These memories are sharp. They are clear. They feel more real than the world around you. You start to test it. Small things at first. You place a book on your table. You focus on it. You stare until its image is burned into your mind, its color, its title, its exact position. You walk out of the room. You walk back in. The book is gone. In its place is a vase of flowers. It is beautiful. It is also wrong. You ask a friend who is visiting, "Did you see the book I left here?" They look at you, confused. "What book?" "That vase has been there all day. You said you liked the flowers I brought." They did not bring flowers. But in their mind, they did. A new past was written for them. One that accommodates the vase. You are an island, a fixed point in a churning sea of temporal chaos. The small shifts wash over everyone else. But they break against you. You are not immune to the fear. You are not immune to the confusion. But you seem to be immune to the edits. Your memory is an anchor. It holds you in the what was, while the world rushes to embrace the what is. You wonder why. What makes you different? Is it a flaw in your mind? A genetic quirk? Or is it something else? You feel a terrifying thought begin to form. If the enemy's weapon is forgetting, then your immunity is not a curse. It is not a flaw. It is a weapon they do not know you have. The only weapon that might actually work. You can remember, and if you can remember, you can resist. The idea is insane. It is the kind of thought that gets a person locked away. How can a memory be a weapon? How can you fight an enemy that eats history for breakfast? But the thought will not leave you. It buzzes in your head like a trapped fly. Memory is data, pure information, and information can be powerful. You start to experiment, not with objects anymore, with people. You sit with your friend again, the one who remembered bringing flowers. You talk about your childhood. You tell a story, a very specific story about a time you both got lost in the woods. You describe the trees, the sounds, the feeling of being scared. You paint the picture with as much detail as you can. As you speak, you see a flicker in their eyes, a brief moment of confusion. "Wait," they say. "I thought we got lost at the beach that day." A small crack, a tiny inconsistency in their rewritten past. The official version of their memory says beach. But your story, your detailed and emotional memory, is pushing against it. You press on, you add more detail. The smell of the pine needles, the scratchy feel of a wool blanket, the specific song of a bird you both heard. You are not just telling a story, you are broadcasting a memory. You are using your own anchored mind as a transmitter, trying to overwrite their overwrite. The pine needles, they murmur. Yes, I can almost smell them. A flicker of genuine recollection crosses their face. You were wearing a red jacket, and you fell and scraped your knee. The memory solidifies. It clicks into place. For a moment, the beach is gone. The woods are real again. You have successfully anchored their memory to yours. It only lasts for a few seconds. Then the world reasserts itself. The temporal pressure pushes back. Their eyes glaze over. "Sorry, what were we talking about?" they ask. "I was just thinking about that time we went to the beach." The woods are gone again, faded back into the fog. But you did it. For a fleeting moment, you won. A desperate theory takes shape in your mind. A single, anchored memory is not enough. It is a tiny candle in a hurricane. But what if there were more? What if you could connect your memory to a source? A massive database of pure, unedited information. A library of what was. An archive of the original timeline. If you could broadcast from a source that strong, maybe you could do more than make someone remember a scraped knee. Maybe you could make an entire city remember a lost skyline. Maybe you could create an anchor so heavy that even the Elder Ones could not move it. It is a long shot, a desperate, crazy plan, but it is the only plan you have. You need to find the last archive. The search for the last archive is not a journey across land. It is a journey through data. The archives of humanity are vast, but they are also vulnerable. Digital records are a flicker in the storm. The Elder Ones can rewrite a server as easily as a mind. You need something older, something more solid. You hunt for rumors, for urban legends from the dawn of the digital age. Stories of data vaults buried deep underground. Shelters designed to survive any apocalypse. Not just nuclear war, but information war. Places shielded not just from radiation, but from electromagnetic pulses, from any form of outside influence. Most leads are dead ends. Government bunkers whose locations are now public parks. Corporate vaults that were decommissioned decades ago. Their data moved to the cloud, the very place the Elder Ones could easily erase. It feels hopeless. You are looking for a ghost ship in an ocean of forgotten data. You almost give up. You are sitting in a library, a real one with paper books. It feels safer here, more solid. You run your hand over the dusty spines. The information feels heavy, real. As you pull out an old technical journal, a folded map falls out. It is old, printed on yellowing paper. It shows a series of geological surveys. There's a handwritten note in the margin, a single word, sanctuary. Below it are a set of coordinates. They point to a place in the most remote desert on the continent. A place famous for nothing, just sand, rock, and heat. A perfect place to hide something you never want found. The journey is long and difficult. You travel by bus, by off-road vehicle, and finally on foot. The world flickers around you as you go. The color of the sky shifts from blue to a strange, violet hue. The shape of the distant mountains changes, but the map in your hand remains the same. The coordinates are your anchor now. You arrive at the location. It is nothing but a flat expanse of cracked earth. There is no building, no entrance, no sign that anything has ever been here. For a moment, you feel crushing disappointment. Was it a wild goose chase? A dead end? Maybe the archive itself was erased from existence. You are about to turn back. But then you notice something. A pattern in the cracks on the ground. They are not natural. They form a perfect hexagon, dozens of meters across. You walk to the center. There is a single, small rock that looks out of place. It is smooth and cool to the touch. You press down on it. With a deep groan, the earth shudders. The hexagonal pattern sinks into the ground. It reveals a staircase of dark metal, leading down into the earth. The air that rises from the opening is cold and sterile. It smells ancient, like the inside of a forgotten pyramid. You have found it, the last archive, a tomb of pure, untouched data. You descend into the darkness. The stairs seem to go on forever. Light panels flicker on as you pass. They illuminate walls of solid lead and granite. This place was built to last, built to outlive civilizations. Finally, you reach the bottom. You stand before a massive circular door like the entrance to a bank vault. It has no handle, no keypad. Only a small, dark screen at its center. As you approach, the screen lights up. It displays a single question, a simple security challenge from a forgotten era. What is the last prime number before 100? You smile, a flicker of real humor in this dark, cold place. They were not just protecting data. They were filtering for who could access it. You speak the answer into the silence. 97. The screen flashes green. With a hiss of hydraulics and a series of heavy clicks, the massive vault door begins to roll aside. A wave of perfectly preserved, climate-controlled air washes over you. Inside is a cavernous room. It is filled with rows upon rows of servers. Their lights blink in a steady, reassuring rhythm. They are still online. They are still whole. The original draft of history is waiting for you. The archive is more than just a collection of data. It is a time capsule. It contains everything. Every book ever written. Every movie ever made. Every scientific paper, every piece of music, every news broadcast since the dawn of the medium. It is the unfiltered truth of human history, stored on crystals of diamond memory, shielded from the temporal storm raging outside. You find the central terminal. It is an old, clunky interface by modern standards, but it is powerful. You place your hand on the console. You close your eyes. You think of Buenos Aires. You focus on the memory, the skyline, the streets, the name, and you link yourself to the archive. You search its records. You find thousands of references, photos, videos, city records, personal emails from people who lived there. The data is clean, uncorrupted. You open a channel, a broadcast, but you do not send it out to the world. Not yet. That would be like shouting at the hurricane. You send a different kind of message. You send out a single image, a picture of the city's most famous landmark, the Floralis generica, the giant steel flower, and you attach a question to it. A simple question. Do you remember this? You push the message out, not through the internet, but through the strange, subconscious medium the elder ones used, a whisper into the collective mind of humanity. For a long time, there is nothing, only the hum of the servers around you, the cold, sterile air. You begin to feel the crushing weight of your failure. You are one person, in a basement full of old computers, playing pretend against the gods who dismantled time. What were you thinking? This was a fool's errand. Then you get a reply. It is not a voice. It is a feeling, a flicker of recognition from somewhere out in the world. A single faint yes. It is followed by another and another. They are weak. They are hesitant. But they are there. Pinpricks of light in the overwhelming darkness. More replies trickle in, dozens, then hundreds. They are not just words, they are memories. A man in Toronto remembers a vacation he took to the city. A woman in Tokyo remembers a business trip. A student in Cairo remembers studying its architecture. They are the others, the other anchors, the other minds that did not bend. You realize you are not alone. There are more of you, scattered across the globe. Hundreds of people who felt the cracks in reality, who held on to the truth. They were isolated, alone. They thought they were going mad. Now, they have your message. They have a focal point. They have proof that they are not crazy. You establish a link with them, a private network of thought, shielded by the archive's power. You are no longer just you. You are the nexus of a new kind of army, a brigade of ghosts, soldiers whose only weapon is a memory that will not die. You are the anchors, and together, you will hold the line. You will remind humanity of what it has lost. The fight for reality has begun. Your resistance does not go unnoticed. The elder, ones are like gardeners. They are accustomed to pulling weeds. But you are not a weed. You are an invasive species, spreading roots through the soil of their new reality. They had been making broad, sweeping changes, deleting cities, erasing fleets. Now their attention narrows. It becomes focused. It becomes personal. The attacks change. They are no longer about place. They are about concepts. The enemy is no longer erasing cities from the map. They are erasing words from our language. One morning, you wake up, and the concept of justice is gone. People no longer understand fairness. The legal systems of the world crumble overnight, not with violence, but with confusion. Judges stare blankly at their gavels, unsure of their purpose. You and your ghost brigade fight back. From the safety of the archive, you broadcast the memory of justice. You send out the Magna Carta, the Declaration of Independence, the records of landmark court cases. You push the raw idea of fairness back into the collective mind. You remind people what it feels like to be treated equitably. It is a grueling, exhausting battle. A constant push and pull on the fabric of thought itself. For every mind you anchor, another slips away. You save the concept of justice, but you lose the word symphony. All the great musical compositions of history become discordant noise. People listen to Mozart and hear only random sounds. Their minds can no longer perceive the pattern. The enemy is clever. They are precise. They target the very things that bind humanity together. They go after art, after science, after philosophy. They try to erase the idea of exploration. Suddenly, no one wants to travel. The desire to see what is over the next hill vanishes. People become content with their own small spaces. The stars in the night sky no longer inspire wonder. They are just distant, uninteresting lights. You feel the strain. Your ghost brigade is small, a few hundred minds against a power that can rewrite the universe. Every day is a new battle. You wake up wondering what you will have to save today. Will it be the color blue? The taste of salt? The idea of love? The joke about the landlord feels less funny now. The sheer, crushing pressure is immense. You are fighting a war of attrition, a war for the soul of your species. The elder. Ones are not using bombs. They are using apathy. They are not killing humanity. They are simplifying it, reducing it to a more manageable, less untidy state. A creature that eats and sleeps and works, but does not dream, does not create, does not question. You know you cannot keep this up. You are plugging holes in a dam that is about to burst. For every concept you save, 2 more are targeted. The enemy is learning. They are adapting. They see that you are the focal point, that the archive is your fortress. And you realize, with a chilling certainty, that they are preparing a new kind of attack. One aimed not at the world, but directly at you, and at the one idea that keeps you all fighting, the idea of hope. The attack comes silently. It is not a grand, sweeping erasure. It is a slow, creeping poison. The elder. Ones target the concept of victory. They begin to dismantle the very idea of winning, of overcoming adversity. They do not erase the memory of past victories. They curdle the feeling associated with them. In the archive, you watch history change. The end of great wars are no longer seen as triumphs. They are just stopping points. The first landing on the moon is no longer a moment of human achievement. It is a strange, pointless trip to a barren rock. The stories of heroes overcoming great odds become confusing narratives. Why did they struggle so hard? What was the point? The effect on your Ghost Brigade is devastating. Their messages to you become listless, despondent. What are we even doing? One of them sends. There is no end to this. We save one thing, they take another. We cannot win. The word win feels hollow. It tastes like ash in your mind. You try to fight back. You broadcast stories of triumph, of sports victories, of scientific breakthroughs, of simple personal successes. But the message does not land. The emotional core of it has been scooped out. It is like trying to describe color to someone who has always been blind. The concept is too abstract, too meaningless. Humanity sinks into a global depression, not of sadness, but of apathy. People go to work, they eat their meals, they go home. But the spark is gone. There is no ambition, no drive, no desire for a better tomorrow. Because the very idea of better is tied to the idea of achieving something, of winning. You feel it in yourself. A cold, heavy blanket of futility. Every action feels pointless. Why broadcast another memory? Why try to shore up the dam? The water will get through eventually. The elder? Ones do not need to defeat you. They just need to wait for you to give up. And you are so tired. Your hands hover over the archives console. It would be so easy to stop, to let the silence win, to just sit here in the cold, quiet dark until the world outside is simplified into its final, gray form. What is one more lost idea? What is the point of fighting a battle that has no concept of an ending? The brigade goes quiet. One by one, your fellow anchors fall silent. Their lights on your mental map wink out, not because they are erased, but because they have forgotten why they were shining in the first place. Soon, there is only one light left. Yours. You are alone again, the last sentry at a post that has already been overrun. The concept of hope is dying, and you are dying with it. You sit in the silence of the archive, defeated. The console before you is dark. The war is over. You lost. The very idea of victory is a foreign concept, a word from a dead language. There is nothing left to do but wait for the inevitable, for the world to be smoothed over into a featureless plane of existence. Your eyes drift across the dormant screens. You are swimming in a sea of forgotten data, the sum total of human experience, and it all amounts to nothing. You idly call up a file, a random piece of media from the billions stored here. You do not even look at what it is. You just want a distraction from the crushing emptiness. A video begins to play on the main screen. It is old, grainy, a home movie from over a century ago. It shows a small child, no older than 2. He is in a backyard, standing on unsteady feet. His father is kneeling a few feet away, his arms outstretched. The father is encouraging the child to walk. The child takes a hesitant step. He wobbles. He falls down with a soft bump on the grass. He does not cry. He looks at his father with an expression of intense concentration. He pushes himself up again. He takes another step and another. He is clumsy. He is inefficient. But he does not stop. Then he does it. He takes 4, 5, 6 lurching steps, and falls directly into his father's waiting arms. The father catches him. He lifts him into the air. The look on the father's face is not one of victory. It is not one of triumph. It is a look of pure, unadulterated joy. The child's laugh is not a sound of success. It is the sound of simple, uncomplicated happiness. Something stirs inside you, a feeling you have not felt in a long time. It is not hope. It is not the desire to win. It is smaller than that, warmer. It is the feeling of that father's pride, the memory of that child's laughter. It is a raw, fundamental emotion, an experience so basic it exists beneath the concepts of the elder ones can touch. You did not choose this file. It was random. A 1 in a billion chance. Or was it? It feels like a message. A final, desperate signal from the ghost of humanity. A reminder of what is truly at stake. Not grand ideas like justice or victory, but the small, simple moments of connection. The feeling of a scraped knee. The taste of salt. A father's love. An idea sparks in the void of your mind. A crazy, desperate last-ditch effort. You cannot make them remember victory. But maybe you can make them remember joy. You isolate the clip. The moment the child falls into his father's arms. You take the raw emotional data of that moment. The pride, the love, the happiness. You strip away the context. You strip away the language. You are left with a pure, concentrated burst of emotion. A single defiant spark of warmth. You place your hands on the console. You take a deep breath. And you broadcast that single, simple joy to the entire world. A silent scream of happiness against the encroaching gray. The spark ignites a fire. The broadcast of pure emotion cuts through the apathy. It bypasses the conceptual blocks the elder ones have built. You are not sending an idea. You are sending a feeling. It is a language everyone understands, even if they have forgotten the words. Across the globe, people stop. They look up from their pointless tasks. A flicker of warmth spreads through them. For a moment, the heavy blanket of futility lifts. A construction worker remembers teaching his daughter to ride a bike. A chef remembers the satisfaction of a perfectly cooked meal. A doctor remembers the relief on a patient's face. The joy is not tied to winning. It is tied to being. The elder. Ones are confused. This is an unexpected response. They have been pruning the branches of humanity's tree of knowledge. They never thought to attack the roots, the raw animal emotions that drive the creature. They falter. Their assault on reality eases for a moment. They are reassessing their strategy. That moment is all you need. Your ghost brigade comes back online. The lights on your map flicker back to life, one by one. The feeling of joy has reminded them, not of victory, but of purpose, of why the fight is necessary. The messages flood your mind, energized and alive. What now? They ask. What is the plan? The final plan forms in your mind. It is terrifying. It is audacious. It is the only way. You cannot win a war of attrition. You cannot defend every single concept forever. You cannot hold the line. So you must move the line. You must move the entire battlefield. We have to cut the cord you broadcast to your brigade. We have to sever Earth from the timeline completely. The plan is simple, and it is insane. You will use the archive's power not to broadcast a memory, but to broadcast a command aimed at the planet itself, at the very fabric of its star-born existence. You will use the combined focus of your ghost brigade, all of you, anchored by the archive's pure data. You will push on a single moment in time, the present, the now. You will push it so hard that it breaks free from the chain of was and will be. You will turn the entire planet into an island in time. adrift in the void between moments. It is the Chronos Gambit, a final, desperate move. If it works, Earth will be safe. Hidden from the Elder, one's in a place they cannot touch. But the cost will be immense. To sever yourself from the timeline is to sever yourself from your own history. Every event before the severing will become a story, a myth. The connection will be lost forever. The Brigade agrees. There is no other choice. It is this, or be simplified into oblivion. You are the Nexus. You are the pilot. You must be the one to guide the planet through the storm and into the quiet waters of a new existence. You stand before the console of the last archive. You take a deep breath, and you prepare to unmoor an entire world from reality.